and we can get into the thick of it. We're doing a podcast talking about games and games. Come hang out. Paste and post.
Do you want to check on the stream real quick just to make sure everything's...
Yeah. It's looking good.
Okay. Does it sound okay? I mean, I know you're hearing double audio, but aside from that,
you're a little quieter than me,
okay.
but otherwise it's not bad at all. It's like a tiny bit quieter. I could talk less loud.
No. I'll adjust it real quick because I think I can actually boost this. It says I can. Okay. We'll see if that's any better.
Okay.
Gosh, the writing in this game is so bad.
She's got a lot to talk about. It's so... I have to close out of it, or else I'm just gonna I'm gonna read it and I'm not gonna be able to talk about it. I also I should probably mute it because I'm also listening to myself talk.
That's not good.
Okay. Yeah, it's just like... It's just a Saturday morning cartoon in like the best and worst ways. Mostly like the worst ways, I guess.
I was going to ask, do you want to even start with our normal like starting segments or jump right into...
Let's do our normal segments.
Okay.
You know, let's stick to tradition.
Okay. I guess we start with what games we're playing, right?
Yeah. I've been playing Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time. It's about time that I bought the latest Crash Bandicoot game. I grew up with Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, and I kind of have been kicking myself for like why haven't I got... Like, there's a new Crash Bandicoot game. Why haven't I got it?
I was asking you the same thing.
Yeah, I finally did because it went on sale, and there was like a huge went on sale, and there was like a huge bundle where you could get like all the Crash games on the Switch. So I was like, oh shoot, oh I guess I have all of the Crash games now.
Is that the one that was it like $60 or something?
Yeah,
the sale. Cool.
That was like the new game plus the trilogy and CTR.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I
that's a lot of Crash.
Right. Yeah.
If you like it.
I'm at Bandicoot heaven.
So how is Crash 4? Because this is the one like I've seen the trailers and I'm actually kind of interested in it. Which I don't particularly care for the original trilogy. So
it's really, really, really good. It feels like they like really nailed the essence of like what makes a good Crash game. They really like they boiled it down and perfected it, and then made the entire game the best parts of the originals. The platforming is really tight. They have that like drop shadow thing that makes it like really easy to tell where you are spatially. You don't really have to worry about like making like whether or not you'll be able to make a jump. It's very easy to tell where you are. Art style is really good.
Yeah, it looks really nice. It's Unreal Engine 4, right?
I think so.
How does it run on Switch?
It runs pretty good. It's locked at 30, but that's not really like an issue. It seems pretty stable. And I've been having a lot of fun with it. You like unlock a bunch of skins, so that's been fun. Just like unlocking different costumes instead of like crystals. They're gems. They're like various. They're like six gems each
Hmm.
stage, and they're like various thing. They're like different things you have to do to get all of them. There's like get three for getting a certain amount of Wumpa fruits. Um, like I think you get like 20% of the amount of them, 50 and then 70 or 80%.
Okay.
Um, there's one that's just a gem that's hidden in the level. If you find it, then you take it to the end. There's one for like breaking all of the boxes. There's one for making it to the end without dying over three times.
Okay.
Um, and there's one more. I can't remember.
I mean, I heard there was a lot of replay value. So,
Yeah, yeah, there
because
is,
there's like
and
variants on
then
the stages, right?
yeah, there. So when you get like about halfway through, there's a part where you unlock inverted versions of those levels of each stage, which I haven't gone too far into that, but it's basically just like a flipped around, trippy version of each stage with like different challenges or like different things about the environment are changed.
Okay.
So it's pretty good. I've really been enjoying it. I do highly recommend if you like 3D platformers, and you're a fan of Crash Bandicoot. And this is a hearty recommendation.
I'm sorry. I've had to like, I'm trying to do something in the background. So keep talking.
Okay.
Please keep talking about
Well,
Crash Bandicoot.
I don't honestly know how much more I could say about Crash Bandicoot.
Okay.
Um, I'm really glad that they made another one. It's goofy, but I have been playing a couple other things. My girlfriend recently got back into Dark Souls 2, and realized, hey, wait a minute, this everybody says that this is the bad one, but this actually rules. So I haven't been able to play it because I don't have a PC yet. But I can do some computer wizardry to make the first game run. Apparently, so I've been
Hmm.
playing Dark Souls 1 on my Mac.
Is that
Uh,
the what is it? Not the definitive edition.
to prepare to die.
No, isn't there? What's the new one?
They remastered.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's weird. Like I haven't tested it out. I have both versions. I haven't tested it out, but the apparently the remastered version runs better than the prepare to die version, which is like 10 years old.
I mean, that kind of makes
Um,
sense.
I guess so. But that's what I've been playing. It's really good. I never got past like ringing the first bell, really.
I'm not even there yet.
Um, haven't rung the first bell.
No, I haven't played it since the last time we talked. I've been busy with
Oh,
other
okay,
games
okay,
and with life.
that's fair. I mean, just getting to the first bell is a trek in and of itself.
Gotcha.
Um, but yeah, I've rung both bells, and I got Three Sens Fortress, and I'm stuck in Anor Londo, and I got tired of being beaten to death by Ornstein and Smo. So I started a new game as a sorcerer.
Does that make the game easier? That's what I've heard, but I
Yes and no. It's easier because you could stand at a distance and shoot spells at people, but it's harder because enemies like to walk out of the range of your spell.
oh, okay.
They'll like just kind of walk to the side, and your spell will miss them because it's it's kind of a slow magic missile called like soul arrows.
Okay.
Um,
Does does that is there
but
some kind
if
of
you
MP system for that, or does it just use stamina? Like,
It doesn't use stamina in the first game. They do actually make it so that like later on it costs stamina to fire a spell, and also you expend some you expend like a magic meter to do it. Um, but in the first game, you just have like charges. You can attune like the more scrolls of a spell that you have, like the more charges you can fire off, and they reset whenever you sit at a bonfire. So like if you dump all of your points into intelligence, you can do like a crazy amount of damage. But sometimes it's hard to just like hit an enemy.
Okay.
So it is different. It is challenging in different ways. I think it is. I think it's a valid way of playing the game. The game certainly isn't fair. And if the sorcerer build makes it so that you actually get to experience the game and see what it's about, I think that's a valid way of doing it. Certainly, no shame.
Okay.
Um,
So is that something I should try if I'm struggling?
yeah, if you feel like you're not really making any headway, sorcerer or pyromancer. Sorcerer probably would be better because
Hmm.
pyromancies don't scale.
Okay. Because I went
Because
with
that's
the warrior, I think.
hmm.
Is that a decent class to start with?
That's what I went with the first time, and I had a really really good time with it. I got stuck because like I didn't put enough points in endurance, so I couldn't roll quickly enough.
Oh, okay.
Which is really important for not getting hurt. Because I don't know if you've noticed the way your character rolls depending on how much equipment you've got. But uh, the warrior can wear a lot of heavy armor, but not too much heavy armor. Otherwise, you just sort of like throw yourself at the ground.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's called fat rolling.
Okay.
It's really goofy, but you just
So,
like there's like a regular roll where you just kind of like dodge out of the way. There's
yeah.
one where you kind of like do like a harder roll, and then there's one where you basically just sort of like fall on the ground and roll over.
So is it like a weight system similar to like a
Yeah,
Bethesda game or
yeah, sort of. It's not based on like what's in your inventory. It's based on like whatever you have equipped. So
okay.
you can hold a million swords, but you can only like if you have a heavy sword equipped, it'll weigh you down.
Of course it has that mechanic.
Of course.
It seems like they
Um,
like any mechanic that could possibly be like a bit too much, they just then stacked on top of each other. You know, like that's what I was trying to make the point I was trying to make with weapon durability. It was like it's not that it's really bothered me. It's just like of course they would add that because it'd be one more thing to make your life miserable.
hmm,
Okay, I think I've
yeah,
repaired
it's
the stream. I realized so the issue was because I had to completely reinstall Windows. I didn't have my ad blocker anymore.
ah
So I was like, why am I seeing an ad on YouTube?
okay.
But
It
it's
should be
fixed
good
now.
now.
Yep.
Hey.
And we didn't even get sponsorship money from that company.
Dang. Free advertisement.
I,
But
I
yeah,
have to stop looking at this. I keep reading the footage and it's like, all right.
there's more trouble than it's worth. We'll see. This I don't know. Depending on how this goes, this could be easier than the pre-recording.
Yeah, yeah. It's. I think this
Yeah,
one is just going to be rough, but this first one that we.
yeah. Better than no podcast. Yeah, Dark Souls is really good. I'm super excited about it. I will say, having played Bloodborne, like even though like Dark Souls is a lot slower than Bloodborne, there are things about the way that like Bloodborne teaches you to play that hold true the way that you play Dark Souls. In
Hmm.
that it kind of incentivizes you to be less play less with the shield and be more aggressive. And it ends up being a lot more rewarding that way.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how to really how to explain it, but it feels like something about playing Bloodborne and getting like really into that and the way that it flows makes seems to make like other Dark Souls games just kind of click.
Hmm. I can actually kind of see that. Um, I kind of feel like I at some point I should give Bloodborne another shot.
I definitely think that it's worth
But
another shot.
but I do
But
want to get back into Dark Souls
I
again.
also recognize that like you have valid grievances with it.
Yeah. Also, I don't own the
Yeah.
game. I only got it like through PlayStation Plus for like a
Oh
month or
yeah.
something. So I actually have to pay money for it now. And those games don't go on sale very often, particularly on PlayStation.
Yeah.
So is that all you've? Is that it for stuff you've been playing?
Trying to think. Think so. I kind of got back into Fortnite a little bit. There's a new season.
Hmm. What does that add?
Um, so the whole map is new. Basically, the island, for like plot reasons, got flipped, turned upside down. Like literally, it like capsized and flipped around, and there's a whole island like on the bottom of the island.
Huh.
So it's a whole new map. Um, and they added sliding. You can slide down hills, which does a lot, well, a lot more than you would expect for like moving around the map.
Does it feel like
So,
Apex?
it's getting closer to feeling like Apex.
Okay.
It's not quite there yet. Um, but yeah, I haven't done too much. It's still Fortnite. But I feel like it did something where like it added a bunch of like different like punch cards and things that like it overcomplicated things, and it kind of feels like they've sort of like walked that back. It feels less complicated than it has for a bit,
Hmm.
which I think is why I've kind of gotten back into it. It feels daunting, so I've kind of been having fun with that. Winterfest has apparently started, so I need to get in for that. It's like a bunch of like presents and like fun winter type themed events and stuff.
Hmm. That's cool.
So yeah.
I was never good with the building mechanic. That was the thing that like really turned me off.
Hmm.
It's because like the building mechanics never clicked, and if that doesn't click with you and you haven't like I feel like you have to dedicate enough time to like really get good at it.
Hmm.
But that's like that's kind of the difference between like you getting taken out pretty early and winning.
Yeah.
You know, like even if you're really
I
good at moving around and you're accurate with your aiming, like if someone's building a crazy structure all around you and then you suddenly just die from a spike trap or something, it's like, okay, I need to get better at that mechanic, and I didn't enjoy the game enough to devote myself to that.
yeah. Don't have to invest in the building. I don't. I only build if I need to like climb a sheer cliff or something.
Oh, okay.
Really. Or like if I like yeah, I only build if I absolutely have to. Like I don't invest any time in like learning how the building works because it's just not interesting. And also playing with a group makes it a lot more fun because then you have other players to rely on. And with like one or two or three other people, you can you have a better chance of overwhelming a turbo builder. So if it's something like if Fortnite seems interesting, try to play with a group. I think that's the best way to do it.
Okay.
You can't play it by yourself, but you tend to end up going against turbo builders, and that usually becomes a war of attrition.
I was gonna say that's usually how it ends for me.
Yeah. But also, I don't really play to win. I just play because it's fun to it's fun to play as a goofy character holding a gun made of candy or whatever.
Do you get any
Um,
of the cosmetics for free?
yeah, you do.
Okay.
You get like there are like a few items you get from the battle pass that you just get for free, just for leveling up. Um, and like some of the things you get are like actual V bucks, so you can theoretically just play for free and save up enough V bucks to get something from the store without actually spending any money.
Okay.
Not you know you're not really like expected to do that, but it's a viable way of playing the game.
Okay. How many hours would that take to get like one of the premium skins?
I'm not really sure. It really depends because you gain XP to level up by doing like various quests or like completing certain objectives or doing fancy things in battle, like getting like get extra points for like surviving to like 25 players, extra points for like having the most kills or like being the first person to fish. So it really depends on what you do and how often you play. But I don't know. You probably could max out the battle pass if you played like for like a whole like I don't know like a couple weeks. I don't know. I'm not the Fortnite expert. I just play Fortnite sometimes.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out something on the stream.
But did the video go down?
Uh, hmm. Looks like the I'd have to unpause it. Can you do a quick check on it?
Um,
Looks like the Mega Man footage is like stuttering in and out of existence.
hmm. Yeah, I'm seeing that. It's back now.
Are the voices off,
Um,
or is it just the?
no, it seems fine.
Huh.
It's
Weird.
just the video that's playing. It looks fine now.
That's weird. Still figuring out all the working out all the kinks with streaming the podcast, but we'll get there. All right.
That's what I've been up to. What have you been playing?
So most recently, I've been playing Halo Infinite. I actually just played through Halo 5 Guardians for the first time, leading up to it, which I
Hmm.
actually don't think is a bad game. That might be a controversial opinion. Story wise, it has a ton of issues, but I think the campaign is so much better than 4, mainly because they actually took the work to balance out the new Promethean enemies. Like, they didn't show up for a while in the story. And then when they did, I was like, oh no, it's the Prometheans. Because you played 4, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean,
Yeah.
surely you remember how not fun they were to fight. Like the shielded ones and the little, like, flying bug Prometheans.
Those were the weird
The
like the
Forerunner
octopus.
robots. There's like the
Or
dog ones, there's the knights.
I'm having a really hard time remembering. Gosh, I need to replay Halo.
I was gonna say that was like that was the thing that I always remember when I think back to 4, and I think 4 isn't as bad as a lot of people say either. But wow, they really messed up the balancing. Like fighting the Prometheans is just never fun, and I feel like 5 did a much better job of balancing all of that. So I actually think the campaign for 5 is better than 4, and I might be the only one who thinks that way, but I don't think it's nearly as good as the Bungie ones, but especially not Reach. That's my favorite. But Halo Infinite, it is a lot of fun so far. It's probably the most fun I've had with a game this year. That doesn't mean it's my favorite game this year, but it is just like it's just such a fun sandbox game. Have you played this? You haven't played Infinite yet, have you?
Mm. No, I've seen a little bit of it, but I haven't really like looked too much into it.
Okay.
But it looks like Breath of the Wild with guns from what I've seen.
It kind of is. It's kind of a mix of like Breath of the Wild and like Far Cry in that kind of maybe a little bit of Just Cause in there too. Just that kind of open world, crazy sandbox game. The grapple hook is the big new feature in this game, and I don't
Hmm.
think they can take it out of any future games because it is the best new thing that they have added. There's like 5 Spartan abilities that you can switch between, but I almost never use anything but I guess it's just 4, but there's shields that you switch between, and I almost never switch out to anything but the grapple hook. Like you have a shield that you can throw down, which is pretty handy. You have another tool that can help you find invisible elites, like the cloaked ones. And then there's like one that allows you to basically do air dodges.
Hmm.
But the grappling hook is just so much fun. And once you level it up to where like the recharge time is like a second or two, yeah, it's really fun. And I'm playing this on Series X, so it runs at like dynamic 4K 60 max settings. Looks really nice. I
Wow.
also just got a new headset, so I'm able to finally make use of the Series X's spatial audio.
Yeah.
So I realize I've been used to cheap audio this whole time, and there's like this
Hmm.
there's this world that I'm just now getting into. So this is like I think it's partially because of the headset, but this is like the most immersed I've been in a game in a while. So
Wow.
that's not to say that the game doesn't have any issues. Uh, Probably the biggest one is that environment you've seen, that kind of like foresty, rocky environment.
Hmm.
That is the only one in the game. So there aren't any other biomes. It's all just kind of that.
That is so weird because there's so many different biomes in like
Yeah, I mean,
the
there's
game.
like you'll go into the ring because the whole game is set on Zeta Halo. Well, technically, the first mission's set on a ship, and then you go down to Zeta Halo, and then you make your way from the bottom of the ring up to the top, and then that's when it goes into open world. So there are some kind of like Forerunner dungeon esque areas, and there are a bunch of banished bases, which the banished are like the new, basically the new version of the Covenant. They were the ones who kind of broke off. They never really believed the prophets. So, and they're led by like some new brute leader whose name I can't remember because he's not the most exciting villain, but he works. And yeah, the story is quite good. A lot of people didn't like 5 story, so like you can definitely tell this game is trying to walk back a lot of the new ideas that 5 came up with. Like the big plot twist at the end of 5 where 5 leaves off, it's just kind of like, oh yeah, that thing was resolved. And they do add like a mystery on top of that to where like there are still things for you to find there if you've played 5. It's not like it's pretending 5 didn't happen, but it definitely diminishes the big twists of 5 that people didn't like. So it's also a lot funnier. The I don't know if you've heard any of the grunt dialogue, but it is hilarious. And there's even some like funny lines with Chief and the weapon that's like the new AI. That's
Hmm.
basically like the more inexperienced Cortana. So yeah, definitely you should definitely give this a try, whether you pick it up or play it on Game Pass.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out. I mean, it looks interesting. It looks like the kind of game that I would be interested in anyway. So
Yeah,
I probably will play it one way or another someday. Um, but
I would at
yeah,
least look up a recap of 5 if you haven't played it.
okay. I think my girlfriend probably has a copy of 5, so we
Okay.
probably should sit down and play that together.
Yeah, see, that one
We might
doesn't
do that.
have local co-op though. That's the one problem. You'll have to either play it yourself or
Hmm.
watch.
I was going to ask, does Infinite have local co-op?
So, you know how this game was supposed to come out last November and got delayed like over a year?
Hmm.
It's still
Did it
not
come out too
finished.
early still?
Yes. So, in 6 months, I believe, is when they're adding local co-op,
Uh,
local and
so
online.
weird.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. Like both the there's some issues with the multiplayer side of it too, of just like they really just needed more time. And I do understand like they did delay this like over a year, and like it would have looked really bad if they delayed it again. But at the same time, it's like I mean, what's here is really good and very polished. There are like the usual physics engine bugs, but they're not like they're the fun bugs. Like the crazy stuff you see online. I even read that apparently like 343 discovered some of these bugs, and like basically the bugs they found to be fun they left in the game for people to
Oh, that's
discover.
fun.
So the my favorite one is there are these. I don't know if you've seen the new ability of picking up fusion coils and throwing them. Like
I don't think so.
rather than just like shooting them and having them explode, you can actually pick them up and toss them, which is just like the greatest new mechanic, especially paired with the grapple hook, where you can grapple a fusion coil to you.
Oh,
So you can be
wow.
on the run, like quickly grapple something, grab it, and then throw it. You can grapple the vehicles and turrets now as well, and you can kick off like the banished brute or elite or whoever's driving or piloting the turret. You can just like kick them out in a cutscene and then just blast them.
Oh,
You can also grab weapons that way too with the grappling hook.
that's handy.
So like you can shoot somebody out of midair
So
and then like grapple
I'm
their.
wondering how that you just grapple onto anything, or are there like
Yeah.
certain things you can't?
Nope. You can literally
Oh.
grapple. Like that's what makes it kind of Breath of the Wild like is you can if
So
there's just a sheer face, you can climb it.
wow. Okay. So I guess I'm wondering then how that's how do they do the like the hidden skulls?
I haven't found any.
I guess
I
they're
don't
pretty
know
well
where they
hidden
are.
then.
And that's the other thing. Like there's a feature as simple as like replaying a mission is that's just not there yet. I think they said 2 or 3 months on that.
Dang.
So I won't know.
Why didn't they
I'm not
wait?
gonna.
Why didn't they just keep working on it?
I don't
Nobody
know.
wanted it this way.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
like I
sure
said though, what is
the
here is
investors
very
did, but
yeah. What is here is very
nobody.
polished. So I will give them credit for that. It just makes me wonder what a mess of a game it would have been last year.
Yeah. Well, I'll definitely check it out because it sounds pretty interesting. I'm a little disappointed by like the environments,
Yeah,
but
I. The weird thing is, and I put about like 10, 12 hours into it so far. I'm not done with it because there is a lot of that kind of open world repetitive like copy paste content, which I was like initially like, oh no, it's gonna go like that route. But like the gameplay is so fun, I haven't minded it yet. Like I thought it would
mhm.
bother me more. Same with the environment. I thought I'd be sick of like the same general biome, and maybe I will be, but as of right now, I'm not. And I think that really just comes down to how much more dynamic they made the combat in this game.
Okay.
Because there's also like there's these things called FOVs, and they're basically like Breath of the Wild slash Ubisoft towers. So they're like
Hmm.
fast travel points. They'll highlight like there are some things that they don't mark on your map, which is kind of nice because it does encourage you to go explore. But it'll highlight like the general stuff, like the Spartan cores that allow you to upgrade your abilities and the cosmetics. But
Hmm.
the coolest thing about them is you can spawn vehicles from those as well as weapons.
Oh.
So it's basically like every time you unlock one of those, and you have to take them back from the banished. Every time you unlock one of those, it basically acts as a spawn point to give you more toys to do crazy weird stuff.
Hmm, that's fun.
Like I didn't I cut myself off, but I was talking about my favorite glitch in this game. There are these if there's a fusion coil that's standing upright and you jump like up over it and then you grapple it, if you're like directly above it and you still have the like upward momentum from the jump, it will launch you all the way to the top of the map. Like everything, like you can see all of the map below you, like popping, like stuff popping out of existence
Oh
because of like
wow.
LODs. Like it clearly wasn't intentional. And you'll hit the skybox and it'll like do a like death countdown timer, and then you drop back down and you can like throw the fusion coil at a group of enemies as you come down. It's really stupid, but it's so much fun. And it's not really that difficult to pull off. So, but I like
It's
that they kept
amazing.
stuff like that in the game.
They did forget rocket jumping. Now it's fusion jumping.
Basically, yeah.
Awesome. I gotta check this out.
Yeah, so it's I'm glad I'm happy that it's not a cyberpunk situation at least. They did give them the time to polish the entire game. It's really just like a few missing features.
Okay.
Cuz I don't know if you heard
Well,
like this game had so many development issues.
I think I probably heard bits and pieces. Wasn't following it super closely, I'll admit.
Yeah. Cuz it took like 6 years in development or something or over 6 years.
Oh,
So there's clearly an issue there cuz like this is not a 6 year old game. You know, like you'd expect something like mind blowing from that, or at least a second biome.
yeah.
I really wanted like an icy area, like Combat Evolved, but
Yeah.
whatever. Maybe the weird thing is like they're planning. They've already said they don't plan on making another like numbered entry for another 10 years because they think Halo Infinite's going to last that long. So I don't know if
Hmm.
that means just multiplayer or if they're planning like an expansion,
They're
but
gonna give us DLC, Breath of
probably.
the Wild.
Hopefully it's better
Then you
than.
can unlock after you've beaten the game. Then you can unlock the motorcycle.
That was the dumbest thing.
It's so dumb. I hate it because the motorcycle is the coolest part of the game, and it's so terrible that they give it to you after you've played the game.
I also love how they give you the that really helpful like ancient saddle for your horses that you can have them teleport anywhere. And then
Mhm.
like you complete the DLC and it's instantly made useless because the motorcycle can do the same thing and it's just better. So I love how they make you go on this whole quest to get an item that'll be useless in like an hour.
And fuel is never like more than like a brief annoyance because you have like a million blue slime blobs,
Right.
which is the best fuel in the game.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's
Yeah. So other than that, um, I don't know. I've just I played a little bit of Monster Hunter Rise again. There's a new Sonic quest that they added.
But yeah, I
Basically,
saw I saw there was something about Sonic.
yeah, it's just this little event quest where you run around trying to collect. I think it's like 200 rings in the fastest time possible. But you're just like running around this Monster Hunter location collecting rings while listening to City Escape. It's it's the most bizarre thing.
How do they work that into the Monster Hunter canon?
I don't think they really do. I think that's just a goofy addition. I still want to see Ridley be a
You
monster,
remember? All right.
or Kraid, Metroid crossover.
Yeah. Do you remember when they put Isabel and Rossetti Monster Hunter?
No, When was
Yeah,
that?
they were like Phaline costumes.
Oh, huh. I don't remember that actually.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Rossetti. Definitely Isabel.
That's so weird.
But then it's just like the model for Isabel. But then for like they did Mario and Luigi,
I do
and it's
remember
just like
that.
they're just cats wearing overalls.
I remember all
So
the other like
goofy.
there was Samus like power suit armor that you could get. I
Mhm.
remember all the other Nintendo crossovers, but I don't remember. I'll have to look that
Yeah,
up.
wild. They should do that again.
They should. So that's pretty much it. I'm not going to go through everything that I played over the last 3 weeks. I don't remember half of it.
Okay. I've only played two games, and it's Crash Bandicoot and Dark Souls.
Gotcha. Yeah, basically all of my time has been in Infinite. Like it's just a game. It's that game that you just keep thinking about. Like when you're not playing it, you're like, I want to be playing that game. I just want to
Mhm.
be playing that game.
Yeah,
So I
that's where I am with Dark Souls. So I'm just like, I don't know. Like, all right, you finish your thought, and then I'll go off
no,
on
I was
mine.
just gonna say like that doesn't happen to me often. So I was not. I was very nervous that this campaign was going to be a mess because of how late they were showing it, especially after like the whole Craig situation. Speaking of which,
Mhm.
did you see the Craig Easter egg? You're familiar with the
Um,
meme, right?
yeah, Craig the brute.
Yeah. So there's like they put him. There's like a Easter egg apparently. I haven't found it yet, but I did see a video online where there's like a stage and you can see albums. Like Craig has a band in the world of Halo.
Wow,
So they definitely leaned into the joke, which I like.
that's amazing.
Anyways, you were gonna say something.
I was just gonna say, like, I got just like a huge burst of like creative energy from playing Dark Souls. Because there's just so much cool. Um, there's just so much cool imagery. Like, weapons and armor look really, really neat. Enemies are really, really good looking. I just like very like really spooky, really fascinating designs. Um, oh no, I just remembered. I beat Bloodborne. I've
Whoa!
never beaten a Souls game before. I beat
Wow!
Bloodborne.
How long did that take?
Um, I don't know, a couple months maybe. I played it off and on,
Okay.
but I beat it.
Well, congrats.
And it's really good. And it doesn't it doesn't stop being good because when you do New Game Plus,
Mm-hmm.
you get to keep like all of your stats and weapons. You lose key items, of course, but you basically run through the game again. Only enemies are harder and give more souls or echoes.
Hmm.
And it's just like it's so much fun getting to like go back to the start of the game and with like your plus 10 hammer and just absolutely wreck shop on these fools. And it's just Bloodborne's so good. I love Bloodborne. I think it's probably in my top 10 favorite games ever.
Wow. Wow.
So good.
Whenever you say that, like it makes me want to go back and play it. I just have this feeling I'm still not gonna like it. But we'll see.
Hopefully next time you do play it, something clicks.
Yeah. I want to get back
Sometimes
into Dark Souls. I just have like I have to be in the right state of mind to want to
mm,
play really any Souls like, but particularly from Software's games. They're just so
yeah,
oppressive.
yeah.
Like everything about them is just oppressive. So
I think Dark Souls is almost like really funny coming to after playing Bloodborne because everybody in Bloodborne speaks in riddles. Everybody in Dark Souls just tells you like flat out, like, gotta go ring the bells. There's like a demon upstairs. There's gargoyles. No, stuff's going on. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's like a little jarring, like hearing these characters just be like talk frankly about the things going on.
Right. That is kind of funny, actually. I never found any NPCs to talk to in Bloodborne, so
There are a few.
I guess I
Some of
didn't
them
make.
you have to go out of your way to like find them, but kind of similar to how like you can send people back to Firelink in Dark Souls.
Yeah.
There are people you can send back to the chapel,
S-
Bloodborne.
So is there? Do you know what part of the game I was talking about when I was talking about that loop where you go down like it kind of starts on this balcony and then you drop down into a sewer area and then you climb back
Hmm.
up and you're like right. It's like in the first main area.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
Okay, is there anything down there?
Central Yarnum is I Central Yarnum is a nightmare to navigate, but I promise that it gets a lot less troublesome after that.
Okay.
Once you get past Father get what? Once you get past Father Gascoigne. I like to say Gascoigne, but that's not apparently how you're supposed to say it. You get past him, it becomes a bit less roundabout, I suppose.
Okay.
There's still like side paths and whatnot, but it becomes a little clearer about like where you're supposed to be going.
Okay. I was just wanting clarification if there like if I missed something or if that indeed was just like to waste my time.
No, so I think what you're talking about, there's a part where like you get like halfway through the sewers and you climb a ladder back and you kind of back up to where you started.
Yeah. Was there another way
Um,
to go?
oh, that takes you up to like a window where if you talk to the girl there, she'll give you a music box that will help with the Father Gascoigne fight.
Okay.
Um, if you keep going through the sewers and go to the end, there will be either a tunnel or a ladder up that will take you to a bridge. Cross that, and you'll get to Father Gascoigne. Don't get hit by the flaming boulder.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, yeah. If you need any help, I'm more than happy to help you out, to guide you on your way. This is such a good game, and I think that everybody should be able to play it. And also, once you're able to do chalice dungeons, there is a if you want to cheese it, there is a rune you can put in to go to a dungeon that will just give you like a whole bunch of echoes. It's for like
Hmm.
standing in the room.
Oh.
So it's a really good way of kind of like cheesing the game to level up really quickly.
Okay. I might need that.
And
Did
then
you
it
do it?
becomes fun, and it becomes a lot less frustrating because the interesting thing about it is that like no matter how highly leveled you are, you could still get absolutely destroyed. You are hardier. You deal more damage and you can take more damage. So it becomes a lot more of a fair fight.
Okay.
And it becomes more of a dance and less of a oh shoot oh shoot and I'm dead.
Yeah. Is there a
It's
spot
it's
like that in
actually
Dark Souls?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think there are probably places where there's like there are like good places to farm
Okay.
for souls, but off the top of my head, I don't know of like there's nothing like it in Bloodborne because basically you go to a user generated room and get a bunch of echoes.
Okay. Okay, so I guess that's it for what we've been playing. Do you want
Yeah.
to cover the Game Awards winners real quick?
Yeah.
Did you view it? The Game Awards?
I kind of like I was like half paying attention to it. We had it playing in the background while we were doing something else.
Yeah.
And kind of like generally commenting on it. I haven't seen the trailer for the new Sonic movie.
How
Um,
did you miss that? That was like
I,
one of the
I
best
just
parts.
well, we tuned in a little bit late. I think they just finished
Oh,
showing it.
okay. Okay. Fair enough.
We did see Jim Carrey for a little bit.
And his mouth.
and yeah, and his mouth. It was really weird. I think that's probably why I didn't pay so much attention.
I thought that was
But yeah,
before they showed the trailer, but maybe not.
before it must. And what day was that? Because I might have like been off in the house doing something else like while
Okay.
they were showing the trailer.
That was Thursday, I think. Not this last Thursday, like over a week ago.
I might have been making dinner. I can't remember. Either way, I don't. I know that I didn't see the trailer, but I did see Jim Carrey's big mouth.
Well, that's the best part, really.
Yeah, I mean that's why you go to see the movie.
You saw the first one, right?
I haven't seen the first
You
one.
haven't.
Oh,
Wow. Wow. It's actually pretty good. Like you have to go into it knowing that it's like a kids movie.
hmm.
Um,
Heard there's a lot of product placement, like really blatant product placement.
I mean, what Hollywood movie isn't though at this point?
It's
I feel
fair.
like most of them have sold out. Um, yeah, I to be honest, like I can't even think of anything that stood out. So maybe
It's
I'm
fair.
just like so inundated with ads and product placement
I'm
already.
just so used to it, I don't see it anymore. I sort of absorb it.
Yeah.
All I know, I could be an ad.
Um,
Yeah, let's talk about awards.
yeah. So you did you catch the game of the year then?
Game of the year was It Takes Two.
Yeah, yeah. Which I was really surprised by. I thought for
I got a
sure.
chance to play that. When we over Thanksgiving break, we went out to Kentucky to visit my girlfriend's family.
Hmm.
Um, and they had that on their Xbox out there, so I got to play it with the kids there. That was a lot of fun.
Cool. I've been wanting to play it. It looks really fun.
I didn't obviously didn't play like a lot of it, but I played
Yeah.
enough of it to like get a good idea of what it was. I feel like story wise, eh, kind of weird.
Hmm.
Um,
Did you start
I
from the
don't know.
beginning, or did you just come in
Did
partway
not.
through? Okay.
I came in kind of part way through. But like I don't know. I have is this a game about parents going through a divorce?
Hmm.
And the feeling I got was that like, oh, if only they could realize like what they had, like they just need to like learn to work together. And like I feel like there's some truth to that, but having personally gone through a divorce, it's also valid to say that not everybody, sometimes the best thing that a couple can do is not be together.
Right. Right. Yeah, and I don't know how the
So
game
like,
ends either. So.
yeah,
Um,
and yeah, like I said, I came in the middle, but like it just felt really weird that like the game was kind of pushing this narrative of like, oh, if they could just settle their differences, everything would be
right.
fine.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I'm glad that it won because it's a really cute game.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Do you think it's deserving of what you played at least? I mean, I know you'd pick like Deltarune or Chicory, but
Yeah, definitely Deltarune.
okay. Wow.
Um,
Okay.
Deltarune wasn't nominated, so it would have been Chicory.
Okay.
No, it probably would have been Death's
Well.
Door.
Oh yeah, yeah. You did you start? You did start playing that then?
Oh gosh, yeah. Sorry, I'm eating. Sorry.
That's fine.
Yeah, did I did start playing Death's Door. I really, really like it. It's very good. The soundtrack is amazing. The combat is a lot of fun.
Right.
I like the way that like whenever you die, it's really funny. That's just like death. Um,
Right.
that then it puts you like right back to where you were. Is especially for like boss fights.
Yeah,
Is
I
really
mean,
neat.
it does have like certain areas that it sends you back to it, but yeah, for the bosses at least, it does like keep you right there.
It's like the doors ask you if you want to try again.
Yeah,
You just jump right back into it, and it feels like so satisfying. Just be like, no, I got this. I got this. I'm so close, and just
right.
like get better and better, and like really like get good at the controls, at the timing of like dodging and everything. It's so good. It's so good.
How far are
I
you
love it.
into it?
I'm um uh I'm looking for my last soul, the last grand soul.
Okay,
And I
okay.
think I just like went around the cemetery. Um, I think I just got the last like upgrade for my ranged powers.
Okay, cool, cool.
So I got all that. I feel like I'm getting pretty close to the end.
Okay. I think you have one, there's like three main areas with three main bosses.
Hmm. I did the Urn Witch, the Frog King, and now I'm in like in the snowy area past
Yeah, yeah.
these
Okay, so you have like
fishing.
one main boss fight left before like the final area. So,
Yeah.
which I like the length of this game too. Like especially as an adult, I don't have a lot of time for these long, really long games anymore. So
Mhm.
it's sometimes nice to just have a game that like knows how long it should be. You know,
Yeah.
like it left
I
me
also just
wanting more, but then like there's also more. There's post game stuff to do as well. So
Oh, okay. That's good. Is there like a boss rush?
um, actually, I
I
can't
hope that there
remember.
I hope that there is because that would be amazing.
There might be. That wasn't something I was like particularly interested in, but yeah, I can. The boss fights are really fun though.
Yeah.
I also love like this game has such a great sense of humor as well.
Mm,
I really like
absolutely does.
the two crows that are left at the like the reception desk area, like the
Hmm.
two that are like filing paperwork, and the one that like loves paperwork, and the other one that
Yeah.
just hates his job.
It's like, oh, you're really causing a mess out there. Ugh, I got all this paperwork to work on, and the other was like, I love typing. You're really making a mess out there. Thanks for all the all the paperwork. I'm probably gonna have to do special forms for this.
Yeah, yeah, it's
It's
so
just
great.
like I love like the the comedic like mediocrity of like the how like reaping souls is a desk job.
Yeah, yeah, it's just it's a phenomenal game. I really loved it. This is also probably like it's not like a full Souls like, but it's enough of one that it's like this is my favorite kind of Souls like. This is what I wish more Souls like games were like. Right? I don't like having to trek 5 hours to get back to the boss. Um, I like that kind of faster paced feel to it.
Yeah.
So
The worst thing about Dark Souls is all the walking. And
especially like when you
you
keep
do
dying on a boss and like there are those like few enemies that you need to kill to get back to the boss and you're just like
yeah,
I just want another chance and then you get like you start taking damage because you're getting reckless from like the little enemies.
yeah. You do eventually get the power to fast travel, but
That's
it's not
nice.
until you're like halfway through the game.
And I'm what, like a tenth, an eighth?
You haven't even rung the first bell.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Death's Door also has a really good ending too. So it's a very fun final boss fight sequence. It's very difficult as the whole game is, but
Hmm.
I feel like it's a fair difficult.
Yeah, I get that feeling. Like every time I died, I felt like I was just like oh no, like I could have done it. Like just this next one is it.
Yeah. Yeah, and the whole like the whole world is so charming too. Like it's this very like bleak setting, but
Hmm.
there's a certain charm to it. And I think they really nail that with the writing as well.
Yeah,
Uh, but,
absolutely.
but back to the game awards. Best game direction went to Deathloop.
Mhm.
I saw a lot of controversy surrounding that, but best narrative went to Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Interesting.
I told you I heard it has a good story and characters, but I
I
also
guess
know
I
like you're never gonna play it. So
yeah, I guess Jeff Keighley also agrees.
to be fair, he
But
doesn't vote in his own awards, but
his award show, why doesn't he vote?
he doesn't feel that it would be fair
Right,
because he
because
doesn't want people to like blame him.
his vote is worth 50%.
I think he just doesn't want people like blaming him if something wins that they didn't feel should.
Okay, that's fair.
So,
That's fair. Gamers are crazy.
best art direction went to Deathloop. Um, I still feel like it should
I
have been
think that should
Psychonauts
have
too,
gone to
but
yes. Yes, 100%.
or Kena
Still
Bridge
need
of
to play
Spirits,
it.
but yeah, I do too. Best score and music went to Near Replicant.
Okay.
I,
I can see that. I haven't played it or heard it, but if it's anything like Automata, yes.
yeah. Best audio design went to Forza Horizon 5. I haven't played
Interesting.
like any of these games in that category, so I have nothing to really say on that.
Really
Um,
sounds like a car. Do you know a car? What sounds like a car? Cars are the most car sounding cars. I don't know.
best
There's probably
performance,
like a lot of like aspects to sound design that are more
yeah,
than just sound effects and stuff. So
more than just the car sound effects.
yeah.
Best performance, I called this one. It was Maggie Robertson as Lady Dimitrescu,
Mhm.
which I was like, I saw the nominees on there, and I'm like, it's going to be Maggie. Like, there's just the internet absolutely loved her. So
Yeah. Still need to play that one.
I do too.
Just waiting for it to not be like $80.
Oh, for the like deluxe edition or whatever.
Yeah. Like I don't know. I don't know if I would get. What do you get? Do you get the soundtrack? I usually only go for those if there's a soundtrack.
Yeah. I still typically don't just because like I generally don't listen to the soundtracks to games before I play them unless it's a game I know I'm not going to play. You
Yeah.
know, like I did the demos for Octopath Traveler and it was like I just don't care for this game, but I still listen to the soundtracks because it's amazing. So this is
I
an
got the
upset
deluxe.
for us, for you personally, I should say. Games for Impact. This is the one that Chicory was nominated for, and it went to Life is Strange: True Colors.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't hear anyone talk about this game. That's what's so weird.
I smell corporate meddling.
That was a weird one. Like I really didn't think it was gonna be that because like I know the first game or the first couple Life is Strange games were very popular, but like I didn't hear a lot of good stuff from this third one. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's really suspicious because like during the awards they were like, and the award goes to Ch, and but before he could say it, someone was like, wait, did we get all the votes? Maybe we should check the closet. Maybe there's some votes in and he pulls out like a big bag that says like official votes in quotes on it.
How the Game Awards really works.
Yeah, it's a bag of letters with everyone's votes.
Yeah. Best ongoing went to Final Fantasy 14. I'm happy with that. Everything else is like a greedy, really greedy game. I mean, I guess Final
Yeah.
Fantasy 14 is still kind of, but I've heard it.
It seems less so from
Yeah,
what I've heard of it.
like it seems like they're definitely the most supportive, like live service slash MMO type developer. So,
Hmm.
best indie. I was a little upset that Death's Door did not win this. It went to Kena Bridge of Spirits. I really feel like it should have been Death's Door, but it wasn't. I was just happy 12 Minutes didn't win. Um,
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't think I told you. I
Weird that that
read.
got nominated.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I didn't see a lot of praise for it, but I don't know. Some people enjoyed it. I read. I heard there was some controversy with the story, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to play this game anymore, so I'll go ahead and read it. Wow, I'm kind of glad I did. It touches on some very uncomfortable stuff.
Hmm.
And like I'm not against games trying to touch on something controversial or something like very deep or disturbing, but I feel like it needs to be handled really well, and from what I read it wasn't. Like it came off as like trying to be edgier. So, I don't know. It's something that I find very uncomfortable. So, I don't really want to talk about it on the stream. So,
That's fair.
best mobile game went to Genshin Impact. That was
Okay.
that
I
was
guess.
the internet exploded over how the reader said Genshin Impact.
Genshin.
Yeah. That was more. Does anyone really care about like the best mobile game category? Like Pokemon Unite got nominated, so I feel like that's just a joke at this point.
Yeah. I don't know. That's I don't know. I feel like the game awards are so weird. Like it just I think that like I'm trying to think of like what it is that I want to say here. I think that the awards are an interesting idea. I hate that it's basically become like an advertisement for mega corporations.
Yeah, yeah, especially since like this year, especially, I felt like they spent almost no time on the actual awards. Like Jeff Keighley would get up there and he'd read off like three or four in a row, or he'd say like, "Oh, this game also won this." I'm like, "Oh, why
Yeah.
didn't you
It was
say
so
that?"
weird, just like rapid firing awards with like no fanfare whatsoever.
Yeah,
It's so bizarre.
right.
It's
And I
like
think, as Arlo put it, like the Game Awards is probably one of the most interesting times, like events for gaming, just in that it's a
hmm,
show where everyone is there. You know what I mean? Like it's not just like this company's showcase or something. Like you never know
yeah.
what you're going to see there. And so that is like kind of interesting, but I really think they
It
should give more time to the actual awards.
it's like the Wild West that E3 used to be
Yeah,
in
yeah.
a weird way, but on a far less grand scale.
Yeah. And Nintendo didn't show
Oh,
up this year at all. That was
yeah, it's so wild that like there were five nominations for best family game. Four of the five were Nintendo games.
yeah.
The other one was It Takes Two, and It Takes Two got the win.
Yeah.
Blows my mind. Like they had like, huh? What?
Did you watch
Nintendo,
the
what are you doing?
Arlo video I sent?
I started watching it.
Oh,
I
okay.
think that's I did see that part. It's just
Oh,
like
okay.
it's
Yeah.
so wild.
Yeah, it is. Best community support, Final Fantasy 14 online again. That feels fair to me. Innovation and accessibility. They don't even say like why they are, but Forza Horizon 5 won that. I don't know what that means even. Especially
They
since
made sure
they
to play a feel good trailer about how like, oh, we may be mega corporations, but at least we think of the 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 little guy.
Resident Evil 4 won the best VR category.
Okay.
I see the I didn't see it before, but I now see the Among Us thing in Hitman 3.
Right?
Because I'm now viewing it on my phone, so the image is a lot smaller, and I was like, wait, is that Among Us?
Agent 40 Sussin.
Best action game went to Returnal. I'm really curious about this game. I don't have a PS5, so I can't play it, but it seems very
I will
unique.
never own a PS5 in my life, I'm sure. So I will probably never be able to play it either.
It might get ported to PC at some point.
One can hope.
Best action adventure went to Metroid Dread.
Yes.
I do feel like that's pretty fair.
Yeah, it was so good.
To be fair, I haven't played Psychonauts 2 or Resi Village,
Mm.
but I do know Dread is really good. So, and I
Yeah.
also knew it wasn't going to win Game of the Year. So, best role playing went to Tales of Arise, which feels fair. I really wanted to play that game. I just didn't like. I don't really have the budget right now
Mm.
because I just bought an expensive console. So I'm really only playing Infinite because it came bundled in. But I am excited about that. It's weird to me that Monster Hunter Stories 2 didn't get on here because that was like one of the best reviewed RPGs of the year. It feels like it just got forgotten. It definitely should have kicked off Cyberpunk from that list.
Mhm.
But whatever.
Why isn't there like a worst game? Isn't there
uh,
an award for worst game?
there should be, but I guess like Jeff Keighley's trying to keep the show very like
Is fragile gamer cred?
yeah. He doesn't want it like any hate mail from either like fans or developers, I guess. So, but I would like to see that.
That'd be really funny though. Can you
Worst game
imagine
goes
the
to
drama?
Balan Wonderworld. I don't think there'd be any drama for that. I think people would just accept that. Like, oh yeah, yeah, sure. That game is such garbage.
I guess the whole point is just like celebrating
Yeah, yeah. It's supposed to be
the
like a
monument.
positive thing, which
But
is
still, it's fun to imagine.
yeah. Do you think that would win? Do you think Balan would have won?
Anything? Probably not. Well,
No, I mean one worst. If there was a worst category,
oh, trying to think.
did you play the demo for Balan Wonderworld?
I did not.
Okay. One of these days, if the game goes on sale for like $10 or less, and I feel like one day it will, I might have to get it just to, or maybe I'll have to buy you a copy too, and then we can do it for a game club, the most miserable game club episode.
Sure,
No,
I'll
that might
bite.
be that might be Earthworm Jim 3D. No, at least
It,
that game has charm, right?
I mean, but here's the thing: Balan Wonderland looks like it's got charm as well. So
It does, but it wears off like in the first 10 minutes of playing it. And then you're just left scratching your head at like, what is this? How did this get made? How did an industry veteran who co-created Sonic and made all these other like objectively fun games, maybe not good, but fun games. How did he make a game with zero momentum that just isn't fun?
mystery.
Best fighting went to Guilty Gear Strive. I don't think anyone would have thought otherwise.
Nah, it looks like Smash Brothers is the only fighting game that I play, and I thought it looks like fun.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's like it was on my radar. I just didn't have time to play it this year. And also I don't really have people to play fighting games with. So, it's usually like me against the AI and that's or like getting my butt kicked by really good players online. So,
Yeah, I mean that's usually my experience as well. And then I play with real people, and then I get absolutely smashed anyway. So,
best sim/strategy went to Age of Empires 4. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Best sports slash racing went to Forza Horizon 5.
Two awards, huh?
3, because it got the sound design, accessibility, and uh, sports slash racing. Best multiplayer went to It Takes Two. I forgot how many awards it got. Oh, and Dream won Content Creator of the Year.
Oh, why? I'm about to put a mask on so nobody recognizes me in public as a gamer.
Best debut indie went to Kana Bridge of Spirits.
That was a really bad joke. I'm sorry. Reason for the mask.
I don't know
Anyway,
anything associated with Dream, so
you keep it that way.
that's how you made it sound last time we talked about it. So, and most anticipated game is Elden Ring.
Yes,
That makes
yes,
sense.
yes. Oh gosh, I'm so excited for Elden Ring. Ah, they had that bit where like the weird Iron Pot character came to like deliver the nomination or to deliver the
Oh
award or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. That was so weird. It reminded me of the what was it, the Untitled Goose Game? How they like got the Goose Muppet to come out there.
Yeah, I remember that. It's weird.
I got distracted reading the text again. So sorry, I'm
Ah,
stuck in a trap. I
oh,
can't
the
move.
land. What's
Do you want to?
wrong?
I guess we can transition straight into Mega Man then.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about this game.
So this was my pick. So you can blame me if you don't like it. I guess to give a quick background. So this game is not set in like the regular Mega Man universe.
Hmm,
It's set in a like alternate universe. Is it 20XX? Is that the year they say?
probably. It's always 20 XDX.
And it's like this weird kind of like 2001 future. You know, it has like that vibe of like what people thought the future would be in 2001.
Hmm.
So everyone just kind of carries around these personalized AIs called net navies
Hmm.
in these devices called PETs or PETs, which is not at all on the nose. And basically everything in this world that's like remotely powered has basically a USB port to plug
Yeah.
in your net navi. Like anything from like a garbage can to children's play equipment, an oven, air conditioning units, and of course
Hmm.
computers. And everyone like has their own page on the internet, almost like social media, but you have to like send an email invite to somebody's net navi before they can enter it, and then they have to like deliver messages that way too by like having their net navi walk across the internet to get to somebody
Yeah.
else's spot.
It's a very interesting interpretation of like what the future would look like.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it has that. It feels like what I would have imagined the internet based future to be in 2001.
Mhm. It
So
is it is honestly really interesting seeing like how close it got in a lot of ways,
yeah,
and how far it missed in others.
yeah, because they had to
It's
like make
just
guesses based on what technology we had then.
yeah,
So they didn't anticipate things like Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. So you actually have to like plug in your device.
yeah.
And
But just
basically
also
every
like the visualization of like the like what cyberspace looks like
yeah.
is like conceptually really interesting, but makes no sense if you think about it at all.
What, you don't think the actual internet is designed like an RPG dungeon?
Well, you know what? Might actually be. You know those parts where you're like walking around and like the floor looks like USB plugs, like connecting to different like networks and whatnot.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Like the like design of this game is definitely, I think, probably its strongest suit.
Yeah. It's definitely not the writing.
No, no,
That's honestly one of the worst parts of this game is like, I mean, I played this, gosh, I was probably like 8 years old when I played it. And I don't remember the writing being bad, but I was also like 8 years old. So that's my excuse for not knowing better. This was like some of the worst, cringiest writing in like any video game I've played in recent years. And it didn't quite hold up as well as I remembered, but I guess we'll get into the gameplay elements later. It's still
yeah,
weird to me though. Yeah, so you mentioned like it's like a Saturday morning cartoon or like one of those kind of younger audience animes, like
mm,
Pokemon or Hamtaro or something like that.
yeah,
But the thing that feels so weird to me is that the things that happen in this game are very serious,
yeah.
like
Like
way
one of
too
the first
serious for a
things,
kids game, and it's like it's just played off as a joke. It's like, "Oh, you nearly died from a terrorist putting a bomb on a bus." Oh, well, that's okay. Hey, by the way, I forgot to get Yai's present. He, let's go buy it. It's like, what? Like, you almost died
yeah,
in a
it is so
terrorist
weird.
attack, and you're gonna
It
play
is
that
so
off as,
wild. Yeah, it really is wild because like in like I guess in the like a regular Mega Man game, like these like it you would hardly even think twice about like the big bad setting fire to like a house or something.
yeah,
But like because this is set in like because of the setting, like this is these are like normal people,
right,
and like these poor people, their houses are being set fire through the internet.
yeah, by a
Um,
terrorist organization.
yeah,
And people are
and
like, "Oh, they're out there. We'll get them." It's like, who is there not like some kind of cyber police or cyber army or like
who
who's not taking
who's
this
doing anything
seriously?
about this? This
The
is Proto
10-year-old
Man.
boy. That's who. Yeah, they yeah, Proto Man. So there's this character like your rival in the game is Show, and he has his net navi is Proto Man because the character's edgy, and then they brought in the edgy Mega Man character.
I honestly like because I know that Proto Man is a character in the Mega Man series,
Yeah.
but I did not because I haven't played a lot of Mega Man games. I was surprised to see Proto Man.
Oh, okay. That was one of those like even as a kid, I was like, it's gonna be Proto Man. But yeah, it's just like it's funny because he's the only one that's been like hired to stop this threat, and he's like 12 or
Mm,
13 or something. Like they don't give his age, but he looks like he's only like a few years older than Lan.
yeah, still definitely a child.
Yeah, and like
The
he's
only
the
one
only
who can save us. His
yeah,
computer. It's like that works in like a fantasy setting,
yeah,
because like a character has been granted some sort of like power. But this is like the quote real world where your fantasy power is your smartphone.
yeah.
Oh,
Basically,
his smartphone's just better.
yeah. It's one of those things
It's
that like
got the new Siri.
I didn't question it as a kid, but going back to it, I'm like, man, this is just bizarre. Like it just struck me as so weird. I mean, like the first chapter is that there's like part of the it's supposed to be called World 3, I think is the pronunciation, but it's WWW, which is, who could possibly be leading that organization?
Hmm. Yowie.
But yeah, basically like the first chapter is this character that is going around like pretending to fix people's ovens and then putting in a program that makes your oven explode.
Yeah, a
And then like
definitely not shady at all
yeah,
person. Totally normal.
right. But it's just weird to me that it's like that whole event ends and they're like, "Okay, I guess I'll bake you some snacks now." Lan's mom says, and then you just like life goes on like normal. Like I can't imagine
Yeah.
anyone being like, "Okay, my oven just exploded from a terrorist. Let's not like try and contact the police and give like a file report, describe the character the shady looking character that went into your house." I mean, it's like how
Yeah.
can they not track that back to I don't know.
It's so weird that, like the like right after that there's a bit where like a weird substitute teacher shows up, kidnaps the regular teacher, and like ties her up in the closet, and basically
Tries to
just you just
brainwash
kind of tell
kids.
him no, dad, and he cries, and he just like do nothing about it.
He
He's
then
like,
just becomes
no.
like a normal
Okay, I
citizen.
guess I'm good now.
Is
So bizarre.
is that how far you got in the game? I'm just curious.
Yeah, that's as far as I
Okay.
got. I did watch a little bit further.
Okay.
Um, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
it's just, it like it's it's so weird. And then immediately after, it's like, well, I guess it looks like I managed to save the day. Then Mega Man is like, yeah, but you've still got English class. And Lan's like, oh no, I guess I shouldn't have solved it so fast. It's like, your teacher was tied up in the closet.
yeah, it's like nobody asks questions in this world. I don't know. It's bizarre. And it's just like every chapter it gets significantly worse. Like the third chapter is them poisoning the water supply. Well, no, getting rid of the water supply. So nobody has water, and they already thought ahead enough to buy up every drink in the entire city.
Really takes you back to 2020, doesn't it?
But like, how did they do that in one night? How did no one notice that? Like, I'll buy all of your waters, please.
Yeah.
I
Like,
don't know.
I
Like,
would get it if like this game were like skipping like several like a few weeks or months at a time, but it's literally just like day after day of like these horrible events happening. Everybody's just sort of like everybody's in like super panic mode. It's like, oh no, I don't want to become an internet slave. And then as soon as the threat is gone, they're like, well, that'll never happen again.
yeah, basically, that's basically what happens every chapter. And then like Leon attempts to fix the water supply, and then he ends up poisoning it because he like forgot to turn on the water filtration problem.
Ugh.
So, and then the fourth one, that's the one where Mail gets trapped on a bus that then like loses control, and so you have to like just keep slowing it down by going to different terminals. And
Dang.
at the end, like once they do like figure out the solution, the terrorist is like, "Hey, I put a bomb in there and she's going to die in a few moments." It's like, "Wait, what?" Like I don't know, it's so like weirdly dark and then just played off as humor. Like she gets off the bus is like, "Thank you, Lan. Oh, by the way, like cuz they were at the she got on the bus cuz she was going downtown to buy their classmate Yai a birthday present. And she's like, "By the
Mm.
way, I forgot to get that present. Let's go get it, teehee." It's like, "What?" Like
Almost died. You almost got like almost got car bombed. Okay. You need therapy at all? No? Just nothing? Just
it's
another Tuesday.
yeah.
He
So that's basically the tone of the entire game. It gets like weirdly serious, and then it'll just back off. The fifth chapter is like they take out the power to your dad's building, and that
Mm,
includes the air supply. So you're like locked in this basement area where the party was, and everyone's gonna die in a few moments if you don't get the air back on.
jeez.
So it's like it's weird because it's like Pokemon in that way of like it kind of has that Pokemon feel to it. But in Pokemon it's like, we just want to put more water in the world or something stupid like that. It's always like these really dumb plots from the villains. And these are like the villains are just as incompetent, but they're doing like really actual horrible things. And it's just like
So
it's weirdly uncomfortable.
yeah, it definitely it just yeah, it just kind of feels like it doesn't like take itself seriously until it super does, but then it's like, haha, just kidding, unless
Yeah, yeah,
just kidding. I have a question.
yeah.
Is Mega Man like particularly special, or does Land just have the best chips?
No, so that's revealed at the end, and that's the like weirdly serious thing. So like, there's this once you get to Wily's base, at the end, like there's all these mini dungeons,
Hmm.
and each of your friend characters, including Higsby, the teacher that tries to brainwash people and kidnaps your actual teacher, and there is just let go to run his own chip shop afterward. He comes in to help you as well, and your dad comes in at the end, and it's like this really weirdly serious revelation that like that Lan had a twin brother that died, and like he was so devastated he took the DNA from this baby that ended up dying and like fused it with a program, and so like Mega Man is actually his dead brother.
What?
And so at the end, like Mega Man dies essentially, and the only way to bring him back is to like merge with that DNA program. And so now, after the events of this game, anytime Mega Man feels pain, Lan does as well. So they're like merged. So they're like actual brothers. It's so weird. It's so weird.
Wild. That is so
And
wild.
then it cuts to an ending where they're just like saying all the dumbest stuff. And you're just like, oh, okay. All right. That just happened.
That is so wild.
Like that's super dark, right? For this like Pokemon
Yeah.
level kids game.
I mean, it's super interesting though. Why wasn't like that? Why wasn't that a thing for like? Wasn't that like foreshadowed at all?
There's like two lines in the game where they kind of mention that something special about Mega Man, and that's it. It's like there was no foreshadowing for that. Like the first time I saw that, I was like, "Wait, what? What?" So, yeah, it's a weird game. But I guess we should transition to the gameplay, as that is what you experience the most of in this game, particularly the combat. What did you think of the combat in this game?
I kind of like it. It's a good blend of like, my favorite type of battler where you have a bunch of cards you have to pick from.
Right.
Um, but also like there's like an active playing field where like you move Mega Man around. So it's like a 3x3 grid. Mega Man has his own grid, and enemies have their own grid, and you all kind of like move around on it, and you can like shoot projectiles towards each other, and you can like dodge them as they're shot at you. Um, you can do like a buster gunshot, just like fire little like pellets at them. But the real mechanic is you have like these chip cards, or like battle chips, that each have like different effects. Like there's a cannon, or there's a sword. There's one that will like steal a row of tiles from the enemy, so that gives you more room and them less room to move around. Stuff like that. And you play those, and then there's like a bar that recharges before you can select another few. I thought that was a lot of fun. I really like uh, the like stacking mechanic. I thought that was really neat.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, you're given at the beginning of each battle, what is it, like 5 battle chips
Hmm.
that you can select from, and you can choose multiple battle chips if they're the same kind or if they have the same letter. So there's kind of a deck building element of like, okay, you could just put all of the best chips in there, but they might all have very different letters, and they
Yeah.
might just like be a random mismatch of like generic cards, and so you only get to pick one per turn. So it's an interesting mechanic of like, do you put in weaker cards that have the same letter or have, or the same type, or do you just kind of throw in a bunch of random stuff?
Hmm.
So there's kind of like a whole combo system. Every time you select, like you hit ready to battle, the countdown timer starts again, and then once it fills back up, then you can select again from another 5 cards or chips. And if you don't like the chips that you get there, or you think you can chain more together, you can choose to opt out of using a chip that turn, and then you'll get another 5. So then you'll have 10 to choose from, which allows you to set up like 3 cannons or something. And if you put 3 weapons together of the same type, they usually do some special move. So I actually think the combat in this game is like pretty genius.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely the game's strongest point. It's also, it makes you use that battle system just so much throughout the game. There's so much
Hmm.
combat, and the
Yeah.
only way to get out of a battle is by putting in a battle chip that allows you to flee. So you have what, 30 battle chips that you can select from in your folder that it'll
Yeah.
draw 5 from. So that's not a very good. Those aren't very good odds unless you put a bunch of them in there.
Yeah. There's not really other than like fighting bosses, it doesn't seem this almost has like a Paper Mario sticker star problem where it doesn't really feel like there's any reason to fight enemies if you can avoid it.
Right. But you can't
The
because
only
there's
thing you
random
get out of
battles.
you don't level up. Sometimes you'll get extra chip cards. Sometimes you'll just get money. You
Right.
don't like get any experience or anything. Like your power comes from whatever cards you have.
Well, yes, there actually is a leveling system outside of that, but it's done through purchases. So on each area of the like core net, like you have the dungeons, but then you have like the main internet that you can access through PCs, and through those you can buy power ups and HP upgrades. And then every time you buy one of those, the price goes up significantly. So there's kind of like that background element.
Hmm.
But generally speaking, yeah, the most power leap you're going to get is from the battle chips.
I didn't realize until like ridiculously later that I could purchase like permanent upgrades.
Yeah,
And I bought all of like the health upgrades that I could, and then realized like, oh wait, no, I should have bought all of the like strength upgrades.
yeah. Because then the strength
So
upgrades, you can choose like to upgrade your Buster, the power, so it does like 2 damage instead of 1, or and you can eventually get it to where it does like 4 or 5 damage. And then you can also increase the speed at which you can fire. And I'm trying to remember what the last one is. Oh, charge attack. So you do get a charge beam, but you kind of have to buy that. It's not well explained, but and I guess
yeah,
I should mention too the rewards
I
that you
also had
get.
to like
Oh,
sorry.
sorry. The rewards you get after a battle are determined based on how well you did in that battle, which I think is almost completely time related. So the faster you take enemies out, the better chance you have of them dropping a battle chip of their type. And if not, then you just get Zenny. But that's not explained either. I just, you have to figure that out from playing the game for a long time.
Yeah, I didn't even like figure like it doesn't tell you how, but like I figured out on my own that you can sort all of the chips in your folder, which makes it a lot easier to organize them and pick which ones you want to actually put in your deck.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell you how to do that.
It doesn't. There's a lot that this game doesn't explain, which is strange, especially given that it's like targeted at younger audiences. Um, Also, like this game is really easy. I don't know, like I don't know if it's just because I was replaying it and I like knew how to fight all these enemies, but like I don't think I died once in my playthrough. Did you have any troubles with the difficulty? I mean, you were also getting used to the combat for the first time, so
Yeah, I did die a couple of times very early on, but like once I got the hang of it, it was really easy
yeah.
to to figure it out.
And once you like, if you do a decent job of collecting battle chips and enough, like buying enough upgrades, it never really gets any harder than like it really doesn't get much harder than the chapter you were on. The common enemies will, but at that point, like you'll probably have so much HP and such good cards that it won't really matter. So there's also, unfortunately, there's a part of the game toward the end, and I forgot about this, where the game gates you off based on how many chips, like different kinds of chips you have.
Oh,
So you have to have 80 different types, like different unique battle chips in your folder or whatever your storage is, um, to even be able to get to the final area in the game.
that sucks.
Yeah,
Why?
I don't know.
That's like back to Pokemon where it's like, oh well, we can't let you go down the route 214 or whatever until you've captured 100 Pokemons.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I didn't remember that because as a kid I was obsessed with getting all of the battle cards or battle chips. I
Mhm.
keep saying battle cards because the last one I played was the Star Force games, which are fairly similar to this, but they have battle cards instead. Um, yeah, what did you think of the dungeons in this game?
I think the visuals are probably the strongest part of it. There's like a lot of stuff going on in the background. The floors are like colorful and like stylized and stuff. It's like they do a really good job of like making the inside of like each device that you're in feel like it is the inside what you would expect. Like you go into like what's his name, Dex's GameCube,
Yeah,
or something, and it's like it looks like a game, like what you would expect it to be. Like walking around like the core internet, they're like the platforms look like cables that like lead off and connect to other people, like other places.
yeah,
In style definitely really cool. Very into it. The actual like moving around the dungeons is like less exciting.
yeah. I will say I think it's interesting that they at least put like every dungeon, every like core dungeon, has a unique gimmick to it. Like in the first one, you're inside the oven, so there's all these fires, and you're given a cooling program. So, but you can only have like so many uses. So you have to figure out like the shortest route to get to where you're going while putting out
Yeah.
like the least fires possible. And then the second one is actually like a really cool idea. So the one in the school, there are different like password gates, and you have to get the password for it. But to do that, you have to swap back and forth between LAN and Mega Man because like there'll be something referencing like okay this many chairs or this book in the library or something, and then you have to run around and like figure out the answer. And I thought that was
Yeah,
really
I
cool.
that
Not
that was
utilized well
really
enough, but
yeah. I thought that was really neat. Less cool were the passwords where you just had
yeah,
to guess.
yeah. I was just gonna say they came up with such like an interesting mechanic, and then they just went well here like the last two or three gates you have to just guess stuff, and it'll say like it's that's too low or that's too high, but they don't give you any other clues beyond that, and it resets
Yeah,
after like five tries. So you're like, oh, I was really close, I think maybe, but then it resets,
yeah.
and you have no idea where to guess again. And
wasn't it was more annoying than frustrating for me because it's really not a very complicated logic puzzle.
Yeah,
Because it tells you like which digit it changes and whether it goes up or down.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah. So it wasn't too hard. It was just like it's annoying bumping
Yeah,
into it more than once.
yeah, and
But
there's like
it really didn't.
three of them, I think.
Yeah.
And it's like there were six of those puzzles, so three of them are actually like the ones where you swap back and forth,
Mhm.
and then the other three are just guessing games. And it's like really, you couldn't have like come up with three other puzzles or just put less gates in. I don't know. It seemed like they were just kind of rushing the game out at that point. Like that didn't feel like something that they decided. Like that seemed like something that was like, well, we need to get this game out as soon as possible. Which I think
Yeah.
a lot of this game has that kind of feel of like really interesting ideas that weren't really executed properly. I will say the enemy variety is one of the strong suits of this game. They make, like, especially by the end of the game, like almost every enemy has some very unique way that it interacts with the grid based system. So it does
Yeah.
keep you, having to learn new attack patterns.
Mhm.
However, the dungeons are so long that you end up like it gets tiring after a while. And because you're not seeing that like instant like getting money is important because that is like kind of a form of XP, but it doesn't feel like you're not getting stronger in the moment. So it doesn't feel rewarding to have to engage in all of those battles. So I don't know. And then by the end of the
Yeah.
game, like the dungeon that made me send you that message was Elekman's dungeon. It is it is the worst dungeon in the whole game. So there's all of these paths that because the lights are out in the real world, there's all these paths that are invisible. So imagine going through a maze, like an invisible maze in this game with constant random battles where you then have to go out of your way to find like those little green net robots that give you information because they give you batteries and you have to put the batteries in different slots to solve puzzles.
Mhm.
But the way the batteries need to be put in there is like completely random. So you just have to keep trying stuff. All the while getting stuck in random battles constantly.
I feel like that like a lot of issues with like the dungeons could be resolved if there weren't random encounters. If enemies were like an entity you could see on the map and bump into, and once you fight them, and they're gone. And like maybe they'll respawn if you leave the room and come back.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you can kind of like strategically plot your route. It's like the dungeons are kind of they're not like really linear. There's like a lot of branching paths and whatnot. So there are like a lot of ways to like get around.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Yeah. And I forgot to mention in that dungeon too, because the power's out, you have to run on battery power. So Mega Man has a time limit for how long he can like stay in there and still
Oh,
be able to regenerate health after battles. Because that's the other thing. The reason that this game is so easy, or one of the reasons, is because every time you complete a battle, your health is brought back to full. So you never have to worry about like healing outside of battles, which is actually kind of nice, I will say.
hmm.
But then like this counter makes you basically have to race against time, otherwise you lose that ability. And you do
That
have to
timer
then
hold even in battle.
I don't believe so. I think it's just running around
Okay.
the dungeon. But so you're like stressed out while getting lost in a dungeon that's invisible while trying to solve puzzles that have no logic behind them. So that's fun. And then you have to do it again, a mini version of that, at the end of the game, where you have to do like because like Mega Man games are known for their rushes at the end. This game does an equivalent of that, where you have to go through a mini version of each dungeon. So you have to like refight Fireman, in like a smaller oven dungeon, and then refight Numberman in like and solve those stupid puzzles again. And they're just
Mm,
all of the ones where you have to guess. So, and that includes
good game
the
design.
yeah. Yeah, there's
I
a
get,
lot of
yeah,
sorry.
it makes sense. You know, you have the final test that basically like challenges you on everything that you've learned from the game. But I don't know. Maybe if what we'd learned had been good.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think there's some interesting elements there, but the electric dungeon sounds like a nightmare.
it is. And then you get to do it again, and that's my favorite part of it. um, so, what do you think of the art style and music?
Music's pretty good. Um, I mean, I guess I should have expected that because Mega Man always has really good music.
Yeah,
Art style, I love this pixel art. This is so good.
right?
Oh gosh, everything looks so detailed. Like it's so weird because like the Game Boy has so few pixels, but like there's so much detail packed
Yeah,
into this world. Like you could even like down to like stuff that's on posters. Um, the like portrait art is really good. Like the portrait art for like a lot of like the one-off characters is
yeah,
so funny. It's so
yeah,
good.
yeah. The world of Battle Network has a lot of charm to it because I really like
Yeah.
the enemy designs too, especially the later ones.
Mhm.
So, the final boss is a complete pushover, though. It's like one of the easiest final bosses of all time. And it's like super underwhelming too, because it's like they don't even fully explain like the whole plan behind what like this end game program is doing. It's just like it's going to start a war. That's all you know. And then you beat this
Mhm.
thing in like 4 minutes, 3 minutes. So, because it
Oh,
only has like,
you've got like 80 unique chips to fight it with, so probably
yeah,
more.
yeah, yeah. Plus, I think it only has 1,000 HP. I think that's like the most in the game. So, I mean, if you if most of your low level cards are doing like 40 to 50, by the
Yeah,
end of the
that's just a
game you're
few
doing like
turns.
hundreds. So, like 100, 150. Yeah, it's weird. I guess any closing thoughts? Anything else you wanted to?
I'm just thinking back over my notes. Um, feel bad that I was so busy and didn't finish playing it. Um, so I'm gonna try and make time to actually like actually play it instead of just watching a long play. Because what I did like, I really liked.
Mm.
It's goofy and like the story is a far cry from good, but what's good is good, and like they're like even when it's bad, it's still like it's like so bad it's good. Like when
Yeah.
you know your teacher is tied up in the closet and you're making a joke about like, oh man, I got to go to English class now. Um,
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious that like everything is just like everything has a USB port that you could just hop into.
Yeah.
Like everything.
I think
Like
even like the slide in the kids park, like that elephant slide thing, I think that even has a USB port.
dang.
It's like,
That's,
what? Why
and
would
it's
that?
like I know that like this is like par for the course for like an RPG
Yeah.
where you just like you just go into people's houses uninvited. But it's just so much funny because of this so much funnier because of the setting to like picture this like 10-year-old kid breaking into someone's house and like plugging their smartphone into someone's piano.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Like
like that's kind of
what
the
are you
whole thing of
doing?
yeah, that's kind of the whole thing is like it plays off of like so many JRPG tropes that we don't really
Mm.
question, but because this is like kind of set in the real world, it feels awkward.
Yeah.
Including like again all of the actual terrorist threats and bombs and shutting off the water supply and trying to like kill people at a dinner party. It just comes off as like particularly strange that nobody really cares and they send a like 12, 13-year-old boy in to do the job. It's like that's something I didn't question as a kid. It was just like, well, yeah, he's the official net battler guy or something, but yeah, it's definitely strange.
Very weird game.
It is. The combat's weird, the setting is weird, but there's a charm to it for sure.
Absolutely. I don't know. I think this may be like the first Mega Man game I've played that I really liked.
Yeah, I did wonder about that. I was like,
I just didn't have time for. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I got to start a ranking for Mega Man games. Because this like I've only really like dipped my like toes into a couple of them. Like I've tried playing some of the classic ones. I've started playing Mega Man X, but like probably got distracted by something else and never finished it.
hmm,
But I like this. It's not great, but it's not bad.
yeah. I,
I
I
think
have
I
heard,
would
and
probably rank this a C.
yeah, that's fair. I think the combat alone would be B tier, but I think like the poor design choices with random encounters and the actual terrible writing of this game, like I think that kind
Mhm.
of brings down the experience. But I think you're right too. Like the pixel art in this game is fantastic. Like just watching the footage back here as we're streaming it, like you can see they put detail into like one of the like class pet tanks in there. There's like some kind of dirt in a tank, and you can actually like
Mhm.
see the terrain shifting on the inside of this like tiny little box that no one's going to be looking at.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, it feels like a modern. It looks like a modern pixel art like indie game.
Mhm.
So
I think the reason that it's like so striking is because there aren't many like RPGs like this that are like isometric like that have like that view.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
usually like top down, like straight on. You never have that isometric look.
right, right,
Also, it is just good art. Like even the character sprites are so good.
yeah. There's like shading on there.
Yeah.
Also, did you notice that Lan has roller skates on the whole time?
Yeah, yeah. I love that he just skates everywhere.
It's like it's just such a weird design decision. Like, okay, I guess he's gonna roller skate through the train station, up the stairs. I'm not sure why they did it that way, but
Well, I mean, put yourself in like go back in time and imagine being a kid and being like, oh man, I wish that I had a cool computer with like an internet pal that
yeah.
I could like do like super cool stuff with, and that I also had like skate shoes that I could skate around everywhere.
I mean, I don't have to because I was that kid growing up. Like I used to think this game was like so cool. And to be fair, I think there are still good elements of it, but
Mhm.
it's for sure not as good as I remember it being.
So, this kept reminding me of like the actual like physical like toy, like
Yeah.
the actual like pet toy with like the battle chips that you could
Mhm.
like actually fight your friends with.
Yeah. I never had that. I actually made a board game version of this.
Really?
Yeah.
How did
It
that
didn't
go?
well, it didn't work the best. Movement was the hardest part.
Hmm.
But like I did actually make an attempt to do it. Like I was obsessed with this game. And it's weird cuz I never played the sequel and I've heard Battle Network 2 is just a far superior game. So,
Maybe we should do Battle Network too.
yeah, maybe that's what you should save Like maybe don't play this one more, and maybe play the second one.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, do we want to spin the wheel, or do we want to just do that?
It's up to you.
Hmm.
I guess like timing wise, what do you think? As I don't know how long the this one I think was averaging around like 12 hours on how long to beat. It always takes me longer. Like I was trying to kind of
Um,
speed run this one and it still took me like 14, 15 hours.
we have a few weeks. We have a couple of weeks. So I'm going to be out of town next week.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, we could do it. I just need to be make sure that I'm like consistent about actually playing it. Um, let's let's spin the wheel.
Okay. Do you want me to put it on the wheel real quick?
Let's put it on the wheel, but let's spin it. See if we get something else.
Okay.
Let's take a break from Mega Man. Let's take a mega break. A mega break.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh my gosh, I forgot how bad that voice was. Okay, it's
Wasn't he
on.
like green?
Yes, he
The
was.
cartoon in Captain N
Yeah. That show
smelled.
is
He was just sound like a smoker.
yeah, and like Mother Brain just looked like a pile of pink mucus. That yeah, that show has so much charm to it, but it is like truly awful.
If we ever run out of games to talk about, we should review the like Super Mario Brothers show,
Yeah.
yeah, Captain N, and that stuff.
It'd be cool to eventually do a segment like that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we can find something of an audience too, even if it's just a small audience. To like, I'd love to have other people comment too on these games and possibly terrible shows. There was a Mega Man Battle Network series.
We keep getting like I think this must be a bot or something because we
Yeah, I
keep
just saw
getting
that. We
I
got
don't
like
know what that means.
VOA FYI or something. It's like the first one I
I
thought
don't
was
know.
real, and then I was like, and then once the second one came in, I was like, no, okay.
Should I report it or block it?
I guess we can block it. They're clearly not real people, so
No, because this is the exact same message.
yeah.
Anyway,
Okay, I'm ready to spin the wheel. I swear next time I will have it up so that I can actually show it on stream. It's still on my phone, so you'll just have to take my word for it.
okay.
All right, here goes. I'm going to turn the volume up so that you can hear the wonderful sound effect.
Okay. I'm waiting.
Okay, it is Psychonauts, is what it landed on.
Hmm. Okay.
Do you want to do that one?
No, I think I could do Psychonauts. I feel like it would be easier for me to sit down and do a platformer
Yeah.
and sit down and do a Mega Man,
I
like an RPG.
right, right. I have played Psychonauts before, but I never beat it because I only had it on PC before, and that
Hmm.
is just not a platform that I play a lot of single player games on. It's not when I finish single player games on. But I recently got it on like an Xbox sale, back compat sale for like 99 cents or something.
Oh,
So I
nice.
was like, okay, you don't have to twist my arm to. I'll probably play it way more on that. So, but what I played of it, it was amazing. So
I'm excited to revisit it.
yeah, I forgot we had it on the wheel. It almost landed on the Bionicle Game Boy Advance game.
Mm. Oh no.
That would have been very bad. I keep thinking about it. It's like I put it on the wheel just because I wanted some other human being to experience this atrocity. But like I really don't want to play it again. I really
That's
don't.
fair. I still can't believe how close we were to playing Earthworm Jim.
Oh, it was so close. Like it stopped just over the line. So, and I think Earthworm Jim 3D is just past Bionicle. So, we lucked out and got Psychonauts.
Dang. Just a series of near misses until we eventually have no other choice.
Yeah. I was going to say
Just going to be 50-50. Earthworm Jim or Bionicle.
as I keep doing respins, it's like, oh, it definitely didn't land on that one until we get down to those two.
Mhm.
I am curious at least about Earthworm Jim.
Yeah.
I actually sold my copy of the 64 version.
It's fine. It's the inferior version.
So I've heard. Um,
The inferior version of a bad game.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was thinking for now at least maybe we should leave what's on the wheel just so it like trims it down a bit.
Yeah.
There are definitely more games I'll want to add, um, but I think we have a good amount right now. I think we have 11, so it'll be 10 after this.
Man, you've got mail.
Yeah, the email
Sorry, I was
system is
busy when you
hilarious
came to
too.
visit. But I have some good news. I managed to compress the power up program for Mega Man I was talking about. Enjoy. Thanks, Dad.
He's like the worst dad ever though. He doesn't come home from work ever.
Thanks, Dad.
Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Like there's a
His mom just like paces around the kitchen all day.
there's a sequence where like you meet back up at his work. Like he doesn't come home. He invites you to come to work to meet him. And then he has to run off after like a minute. But like she's asking him like, "Hey, how have you been?" Like very basic questions. Like she hasn't seen or spoken to him in like weeks. It's like, "What? What job do you have?"
He's making the he's very busy. He's very busy.
Yeah, that struck me as strange that I was playing too. It was like, "Oh my gosh, like
It's Nessa's dad all over again.
yeah,
Except you actually go to wherever Nessa's dad is.
yeah, that's what makes it like particularly weird. I don't know. We should probably wrap this up.
Yeah, probably. I'm excited to play Psychonauts.
Yeah, I am too. I'm excited to actually like see how it ends because I really want to play the
Yeah.
second one, and I'm assuming there's like I was gonna play it regardless, but
I feel like I think I remember how it ends.
okay. I love the art style of it though so much.
Yeah.
All right, well here's the part of the show where we don't know how to end it.
Well, this has been a podcast.
It definitely has.
I'm
Thank you
glad
so
that
much to the bots for coming by
yeah,
and dropping their FYI comments.
yeah. I'll keep that in mind. VOA FYI.
All right, well thank you for listening,
I hope
everyone.
that's not like an activation code or something. That saying it out loud is like some sort of TOS.
Yeah, like it's all voice activated.
Oh, she said it. Oh, she said it. Ah, ban, ban.
All right, well thanks.
I'm looking at the artwork for these battle chips. This is so good.
Right? The images like they look like an actual deck of cards, like a playing.
The poster in Land's room. So much detail on it.
I know. And it's all like the isometric, which I feel like is almost harder to get detail on because everything has to have that like kind of sharp edge to it. Peace didn't last long in ACDC town.
Oh, okay. So it's not just like next day. Time does pass.
And yet your
Doesn't
father
feel
never
like it.
comes home.
Yeah. It's been a month and still haven't seen my dad. He emails me every day though. Son, I've developed a new brother for you. I've souped up your brother, Lan.
Dog no. Is that what it says on the TV? Dog no.
Dog, no. Is it like dog? Is it supposed to be like dogs know like what's good?
Yeah.
Oh, is it chow? Hold on.
What?
Oh, it says dog no.
Yeah. Like your dog will know that it's that food brand.
So weird.
Well, now it's gone. All right. Well, thank you for listening, everyone.
Yeah, thanks so much for hanging out with us. We'll be back in the new year talking about an old game.
Yeah. It'll be exciting.
All right, take care.